Hello, YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what time it is. G.I. Joe Classified time. Today I've got 5 more guys for you, all from the bad side of the equation, which is nice because the light side is heavier than the dark, so it's always nice to even it out a bit. Bud? Oh, that was a weird noise. Not sure what she's up to. Anyways, like I said, 5 bad guys. And some really cool, we got some basic cannon fodder in here, but we've got some other really cool guys. So let's get started. And we'll start with we'll go from my least favorite to my most favorite. And so starting things off, the Cobra Snow Serpent. So this is the cannon fodder that I mentioned. This is just a regular faceless generic trooper. These are their cold weather specialists. So anything to do with Arctic-like temperatures and performing war-type things in those types of extreme environments, these are the guys that go in and get it done. So basically, they're a branch of the Cobra eels, which that is a Cobra eel right there. They are the Cobra underwater specialists. So the snow serpents are actually a branch of the eels that move on after all that underwater training to do extra stuff that prepares them to be in the snow and the ice and the wind and all that stuff and be able to get the job done. So these guys, pretty hardy individuals. Don't want to see them on the battlefield. Next up, this guy's awesome. I love this guy as a kid. I have I always call it G1, but that's more of a Transformers thing. But yeah, same thing. Original. G1. Monkey Wrench. So, Monkey Wrench was one of the Dreadnoks. So you'll remember I've done quite a few Dreadnoks so far. We got, what is it? Buzzer, Ripper, Torch, Xandar, Zorana. I think that's all the Dreadnoks I have. So they're basically that group that's kind of aligned with Cobra, but also will betray Cobra if their idea of what should be going on doesn't match up with Cobra. So the Joes have been able to exploit that and turn the two sides against each other. They're the ones that live in the Everglades swamps and are basically a bunch of like swamp-dwelling redneck, violent terrorist type people. But they come from all over the world. So in the case of Monkey Wrench, his real name is Bill Winky. He's originally from somewhere in Wales. And ever since he was a young kid, he was always obsessed with explosions and demolition. So that led him to become an expert at crafting bombs and whatever. And so that got him noticed by organizations that would want to do violence to people or places or things, and required his services to build said bombs. So as he moved out of Wales and got into like bigger cities to do his thing, he eventually went to Australia, and that's where he met up with the Dreadnoks and eventually joined their little cause. So Monkey Wrench's original figure was released in 1986, I do believe, and the Snow Serpent was 1985. Next up, this guy's got a bigger box because he's got lots of swag. His name is Metalhead. So Metalhead is basically one of Destro's Iron Grenadier members. So this guy right here is an Iron Grenadier who works for Destro. So they're not Cobra aligned, they work for Destro. So when Destro and Cobra Commander's ideals link up, which is most of the time, Destro can call upon his Iron Grenadiers to offer support to whatever mission they might be undertaking. Now, Metalhead is different because he is an ultra dedicated Iron Grenadier. Let's just say that. His real name is Stuart Finley, I believe. And he is originally from, I think, Annapolis, Maryland. And he took his job as an Iron Grenadier so seriously that he researched his own weapon upgrades and everything. So he upgraded his weapons, upgraded his armor, so that he would be even more effective on the battlefield at taking down the Joe's artillery. And he even crafted his own like kind of backpack harness thing that he could attach his weapons to, and then he could be hands-free to be even more efficient in battle. And he even linked up a helmet that had all sorts of readouts and displays, and could even like target just by looking at what he wanted to target, and then use voice commands to initiate the barrage that would come from his walking armory on his back. So he takes his job as a destructionist against G.I. Joe very, very seriously, and he's very good at it too. His original G1 figure came out in 1990, so he was kind of more towards the end of that original G.I. Joe toy run, which, looking back on it, I wouldn't have thought that they were still releasing figures. Like, I didn't think they got into the 90s with their figures, but I guess they did. But yeah, I never had his original figure. He was kind of a more obscure guy to me, but I really like all of his specialized gear and stuff, and I thought he was a pretty cool character. So I was like, he went on sale for Prime Days, and I went, okay. Next up, one of the original Cobra higher command guys that I can't remember exactly, but I feel like as the series wore on, his character kind of trickled off and didn't have as much representation in the cartoon as he did early on. But his name is Major Bludd. So his original character toy was released in 1983. So he was, like, I believe, in the second run of toys. So he was one of the OG characters, and he was in it from the get-go. So his real name is Sebastian Bludd, and he's from Sydney, Australia, and he's basically just an evil guy. He's deplorable. And he's greedy. So he'll basically try and pull off any kind of scheme and betray anybody in front of him, even if it's his own mother, in order to get what he wants. And he's also not afraid to do it violently as well. So he's trained, and he's an expert in explosive. He's an expert with a sniper rifle. Basically, anything he can use to get the job done and get what he wants out of the situation, he will do it. Yeah, so he also, his outfit's a little different, like, which is kind of good, because you'll see it when I throw up the original toys. His uniform was just like a brown generic kind of suit. It looked really goofy and weird and plain and kind of lame. So they've given him quite an upgrade with the suit here, so he looks a little more fearsome, and he's very noticeable because he has an eye. Oh, excuse me. Oh, Thanksgiving weekend, I ate so much food. I'm permanently tired at this point. He's got an eye patch and a crazy mustache, so he's very recognizable on the field of battle. You always know you're going up against Major Bludd. Last one. I was excited about all these guys, but this guy's easily the most exciting. I've actually already got him on the shelf, but just a different version. As far as I remember, there's 3 versions of this character, so I'll now have 2. I'm not sure if I'll go for the 3rd if it comes out. I probably will, but I haven't seen it yet, so maybe it won't come out. But it is Cobra Commander for the 2nd time, this time in his battle armor. So Cobra Commander is right here behind me. That's his original uniform when the series started. So I talked about Cobra Commander when I unboxed him probably several videos ago now. But he's basically, nobody really knows his true identity, where he's from, whatever. And he is the face and the mind behind the Cobra terrorist organization. And much like Major Bludd, he will stop at nothing to achieve his goals, which, being the head of Cobra, it's world domination. That's what he's after, and nothing will stand in his way. Now, unlike Major Bludd, I was talking about how he's an expert in explosive sniper rifles. He'll get right into the nasty heart of the battle and get his hands dirty. Cobra Commander, at least originally, you never really saw him much on the battlefield. If you did, it was usually he would You know, all the other guys went out before him as a human shield, and he was near the back, and he was always the one to call the retreat once G.I. Joe got the drop on them. But later on, he had that original uniform. Then he had one. It was darker blue, and it was like a hood, like a cloth hood that hung down to here kind of thing, with a couple of eye slits in it. And then he was into the battle armor. Those were the 3 uniforms of his I remember. There may have been more, but I don't think there was. And the battle armor, his original figure was released in 1987. So as the series went on, he finally hopped into this battle armor, and that's when he got his hands a little more dirty. And not because I think because he got more brave or anything, but simply because he had this armor to protect him. So he didn't really need to be as careful as some of the other guys because he was well protected. So this battle armor is like state of the art. Like the armored parts of it can withstand like heavy machine gun fire. It's got it's resistant to like acid and chemical type things, you know, that sort of warfare. It's air conditioned inside. It's got comms and everything. So it's basically state of the art armor that makes sure Cobra Commander is comfortable and also very hard to kill. So I remember this suit of armor very well. It was such an iconic kind of looking character in G.I. Joe that when I saw him come up, I was like, oh, I've already got Cobra Commander, but oh, of course I need to get the battle armor. Who am I kidding, right? So I got it. So anyways, I am going to show you the original G1 toys of these from the 80s, so you can have a look at those images before we take these guys out of the box. So feast your eyes on this. Yeah, so those were the OG looking toys of these 5 characters back from when I was a kid and in my G.I. Joe crazed days. But you can see like the Cobra Commander toy and the Monkey Wrench toy I thought were really good. They had a lot of detail on them. They looked really good. The Snow Serpent was pretty good too, as was Metalheads. They were okay, but like Major Bloods, am I right? Just like a generic brown, ugly, plain Jane kind of thing. Like he looks like a turd with a head on it, right? Like it was such a weird choice of uniform to give this guy in the G.I. Joe series. So I thought it was strange, but it's all part of history now. So I'm just glad they upgraded him for the Classified series. So speaking of him in the Classified series, let's get these guys out of the boxes and see what they look like, baby.